we're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Women Speaking Sports RVA, filmed and recorded live here at the Hilton Richmond downtown. Now, the field, the court, the baseball field is filled today. The whole team is here, and I am so excited. Now, that might be because I had a little bit of an energy drink before we sat down, but these women are really feeding into my spirit. I'm super excited. I'm your QB star, Mallory. We've got our referee here, Miss Danielle Fitzhugh. Danielle, what's up, girl?
Give me a whistle.
I tried to whistle. All right, and we've got our running back, Carrie Roth. What's up, Carrie?
I'm looking forward to an exciting week, except for
our
Yankees.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, gosh.
I got to speak up here and just say that I already said congratulations to my friend here because it's the first in the Subway Series that we
Well, we're going to give her one win.
Hey.
I don't know,
We worked for that win.
pretty good.
All right, well, we're going to get into that a little bit down the road here. We've got our power forward, Dr. Danny. How are you doing, Miss Ma'am?
Just laying it up like.
Hey. Our designated hitter, Lisa Trani. Lisa looking fabulous as ever.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and we can't forget our coach. We can't forget our coach, Steph B. How's everything?
You know what I've been thinking lately?
What have you been thinking?
Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, Steph B.
The three S's.
Yeah, we need that. We need that.
Okay.
Stephen A. and Steph B.
Well, you can find us on ESPN Richmond Friday mornings at 6 a.m. on 106.1 FM, and The Choice on Tuesday evenings at 2 p.m. on 105.3 FM. You can catch us every single day on Facebook and Instagram at Women Speaking Sports RVA. And our sponsors, ladies, have grown.
Great sponsors.
We've got some great sponsors. We've got the Hilton Richmond Downtown, Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, Core Mortgage, Jerry Howard and Intrepid Impact Team, Synergy Technical, Capital Ale House,
What? I
Fast
don't know.
Signs, NFL, Freddie Berry, and Mike King Biz.
Yeah.
Show me the money, Mike.
Look at
Okay.
this.
We are super excited, and thank you to our new sponsors that are coming onto the show. We are excited to fellowship
Johnny
with you guys.
Manziel.
Look, all I'm going to say is that Chesterfield Chamber membership privilege.
Okay.
Chesterfield.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
All
about.
right.
Maybe I need to move back to
We
Chesterfield.
need to
Join
get
the team.
Lego. We need to get Lego on this.
Everything happens.
Chesterfield, yeah. The Chesterfieldians, as they say.
Tell
The
them.
other
There you go.
Chesterfield.
There you go.
All right, ladies. Well, let's get into it. Let's start off by talking about the Commissioner's Cup and the win with the Las Vegas Aces. What surprised you? How were you? What didn't surprise you? What were you looking for? Did the ladies play or did they play?
Go ahead. I'm gonna say this about women's sports. Sometimes I want it to be better than it is, and I don't usually say this kind of thing, but there are some elements of it where I just think that it's kind of like when you used to watch tennis back in the day, and McEnroe and the men, here I go aging myself, but McEnroe and the men, they were the leaders and they were what drew a crowd. Now I have that expectation of all women's sports, because now you watch tennis, you're watching it for who? The women, and I want to see all of women's sports get to that. I didn't
Women
have
do
that.
make everything better.
Yes, and I didn't have that feeling with the Commissioner's Cup.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting take.
Maybe because it's just not loaded with superstar, like the Brianna. And let's not forget.
And Brianna.
Yeah.
So
I had a problem about that, but go ahead.
Okay. No.
Yeah, I mean,
what's going on, Power Forward?
So I would just say, for those who have been a fan of women's sports for a long time, particularly basketball, when you've seen a player play AAU ball, and then you've seen them play in college, and they go to the WNBA and they show out like Kelsey Plum.
Kelsey Plum
For
kills.
me, that's all the star appeal that I need, because I remember, that whole track. And that's why when I watch the WNBA, people like Asia, when I see them, I remember when, and that's what gets me
I
excited.
agree.
About it.
I'm on the same level as Danny over here because we were talking about Brianna Stewart last week when the Philly Bells were here. And I actually saw her at an AAU tournament. Gina was there recruiting her. I think Don Staley was there. It was like, who is this kid? She's amazing. Then you see her, at UConn, then now in the WNBA. It's really kind of fun to see the progress of these young women, especially because we're personally involved with the sport.
Absolutely.
Well, I do have to get Tom Brady in here.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, we
Tom
haven't even
Brady
started.
Sent
No.
Kelsey Plum a special package
Okay.
that had a signed
A
Tom
special
Brady
package.
jersey for her.
Oh, wow.
And she was very excited. It's the cutest little
I hope she's a fan.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a big fan.
Oh, Tom Brady, we have your number one marathon runner fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when he was in Vegas, he went and watched them play.
Yeah.
And she went up. Remember,
She-
she went
she was
and talked to him, but
excited.
she woofed like a dog.
She didn't know what
She
to
was
do.
so sweet, she didn't know what to do. And then he just sent her a gift last week with a Tom Brady signed jersey and some Brady sweatpants. So,
Oh,
But I'm
those
also,
sweatpants.
I'm
Are they
also an
great?
outlier.
no, have you seen my legs? I'm 5'4".
I'm also a bit of an outlier because I'm not a big fan of the Pro Bowl. So I'm just weird like that. Once we get there, but like the All-Star game, I like the WNBA All-Star game. I've been to a few All-Star games.
Oh, the
I
baseball.
just am not but when it comes to like the Pro Bowl or any of the equivalents, I'm never a big fan.
Yeah.
I just feel like I really feel like, go ahead, ladies, gentlemen, go ahead and prepare for next season.
But
And you
the
can get rid of the Pro
difference
Bowl
is
and I'll
when
be
you
okay.
when you see the women play, they're actually playing. I mean, I felt like it was a waste of money when I started going to the Pro Bowl because the big ones don't want to be there because they might get
don't wanna get hurt.
and then they don't
Exactly.
really play. If you look at the All-Star game,
Well, plus
it's
it used
all
to be the
offense,
weekend
no
before the
defense.
Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah. The All-Star game, they just hyping themselves up.
Yes.
I don't think it's the Pro Bowl is really just that filler before we get to
To the real
to
game.
the real thing.
So I have a totally different take on it.
Okay.
Is, for me, it's hard to get excited about it because I'm like, we're celebrating WNBA and we still got Brittany Griner locked up.
Right.
So I found it, from the emotional side of it, like how do I separate the two, still give my support and watch, and we still haven't got her home yet.
Right. Right.
So I haven't paid as much attention because if we're focusing on WNBA and our best players, then our best players should all be here playing.
Absolutely.
So do you
Agreed.
think they should boycott future games?
I
No.
think that's a hard question to answer. I don't know that gets her
I'm not
here,
sure what that.
right?
I don't know what
That would
that
accomplish.
would accomplish. Only because that doesn't really serve a purpose as far as getting her home, in my opinion. I think playing would probably be what she would want her teammates and her fellow athletes to do.
Right. As long as they don't forget her name.
And,
Yeah.
and they've done a good job of
Right.
not doing
Right.
that and really putting it out there, wearing her
It's
jersey
all on the
number.
floor,
yeah,
the
Right.
jersey
yeah.
number.
Now, I'm sure that, for things like Commissioner's Cup, Pro Bowl, all that, it is an opportunity for certain athletes to shine. And, at the end of the day, as we always talk, it is a business, right? So they're there, some of the women that are there in that situation, it's about the opportunity too.
Yeah, and they're recognized.
So,
for the work
I
that
do-
you've
I
done,
do
and to see all
acknowledge
those
that.
stars in one place. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of a fun thing too.
And they don't get the same recognition at the same level of marketing
Right.
that the NBA gets, right? So I don't
Absolutely.
want to take that away from them, but
It's just not as exciting.
And,
I mean,
and
and
they,
it's like-
think
yeah.
about all of the young players out there, the elementary, middle school, and high schoolers who get a chance to grow up seeing pro. I mean, that's an encouragement. It's an inspiration for them. I know I didn't have that when I was coming up. It was like, you're done.
Yeah.
Go get your degree and find a husband.
Or get a PhD, doctor.
Yeah.
Just sell yourself short over there.
Still looking.
but you became Dr.
No. You're right.
Oh, there's that.
inspired by Dr. J.
Well, speaking of Richmond, we are going to go ahead and put on our running shoes. I feel like we're gonna head it to the track. You know, we're gonna follow Carrie, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
USA, okay?
Oh, showed out.
Team USA is something to talk about. Carrie, go
For
ahead and
real.
lead the conversation on this, Miss Man.
Did you watch track this
Well,
week? Did any of you?
Oh my gosh! The
Oh my
World
gosh,
Championship.
so good.
Team USA was on fire.
Oh.
On fire. And we had two local women who were both exceptional. One who came away with the gold.
Relay, right?
So Britton Wilson,
Yep.
who graduated from Godwin High School.
Shout out to Godwin.
Yeah, she was on the final team of the 4x4
4x4 relay, yeah.
relay. And won. And that was after Allison Felix came
Yes.
out of retirement.
Yes.
And her
For
cheat
the
meal.
semifinals.
Let's not forget her
Yeah,
cheat
win.
meal.
And her cheat
The wings.
Yeah.
The wings.
I mean,
Cute little
I
touch.
mean,
Allison
and her
Felix.
and her little girl just cheering her on. It was
Yes.
just so awesome. But
Yeah.
and Sydney McLaughlin, oh my gosh, she
Yeah.
is.
I want
just-
to know what
fat.
her workout regimen post baby is.
Flat,
Oh,
flat.
Yeah,
Right.
I just
yeah.
flat. Very workout.
I'm
regimen.
telling you, know,
But yeah, go
one
ahead.
of the things I really loved in watching the lead up, when they were competing a few weeks ago to qualify, was watching Noah Lyles and that level of competition post Olympics.
Yeah.
I think this past, that past Olympics, there were so many things that just went on. I think it was emotionally straining and draining for a lot of the athletes, not just Simone Biles, but even Noah Lyles talked about it. And for him to really break Michael Johnson's
Oh my
record.
gosh.
And then-
But
Shout out
did
to
you-
Texas.
But
Yeah.
did you see Michael Johnson and him, the photo of the two of them together?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, almost like he's passing the
He's passing
torch.
the torch.
He's
Yeah.
passing
You know,
the torch.
The greatest thing, I think, the difference, they had incredible weather. The temperatures were in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah,
so they were
that's
really,
great running
really
weather, right?
able
Really.
to compete at the top level. The other one, our hometown mid-low mom, Kiera D'amato, and she, 2 weeks before the World Championship, she got the call to run the marathon. 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Wow. So you
So
gotta
she
stay
showed
ready.
up.
Right.
She
Stay
showed
ready.
up, and she was training for sprints, like 10K. She was
Right.
supposed to run the weekend, 2 weekends before. She gets the call. She shows up. She ran with the lead pack for a little bit, and then she realized it's probably not
Yeah.
where I can be.
Let it drop a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah, so she caught up with our other USA women. And for the first time ever, we had 3 United States women in the top 10
For the marathon.
in the marathon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kiera came in 8th place in the world.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
That's
with 2
crazy.
weeks'
Incredible.
notice. That's
Shout out.
and
to-
and Sarah Hall
moms.
and
Yeah.
Emma Bates, they came across the finish line and they turn around and I'm crying thinking about this because I watched it. And here comes Kiera. And they're standing there with open arms and cheering her and having her come across the finish
Wow.
line. And the 3 of them together with the American flag and just really inspiring to see what American women can do on the world level for the marathon because it's a big challenge.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the
Just to see that
marathon,
strength
that's a packed
was huge.
packed
and it's
crowd.
just really, really awesome. And shout out to Kiera because she's getting ready to open a running store in Midlothian in Westchester Commons called RVA. And so she's going to be opening that up soon in Chesterfield, I think next month. So
That's another
awesome.
tick for
Wow.
Chesterfield. Okay.
Doing it. We're working on it. We're
Okay.
working on it.
I think one of the things I was sad about was Sha'Carri not making it. Only from the perspective of I love the showmanship of track and field.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's been around.
Very
It's
positive.
been track and field has forever. You can go back to the 80s
Yeah.
and see that level of showmanship and hype for the
Go back to Jackie
short
Joyner.
short track runners. Yeah, that's it.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah,
so-
JoJo,
Yeah.
But I also want to
Absolutely.
talk about the grace. Every one of them, the men and women, after they finish, they talk about not only what they did, but what all their team members did and what their competitors did, as well as, there are still some things that I can work on too.
Yeah,
like
right.
They celebrate and all that. When they don't get what they want, but even when they get what they want, it's just really, really just a incredible sportsmanship.
Well, Carrie, you're inspiring all of us because you've got a race
Okay.
coming up.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a race coming up that you're preparing for, and it's in October.
Yeah, 11 weeks.
11 weeks,
Chicago
yeah.
marathon. So
Oh,
the
wow.
mileage is piling up. I ran 14 miles last Saturday morning, and it was not easy conditions, but We had great support crew out there making sure we made it through.
So do you ever train with that mask thing on that helps your breathing? Such that when you ran, like, with all the humidity last week, is there a way to prepare for that?
Well, so the thing is that when you prepare in the humidity levels like we do in Richmond, and the temperature is like 20 degrees warmer than what the actual temperature is, your blood is going towards your skin to try to help you cool down.
Okay.
So it's really taking away the oxygen from your ability to breathe well. So it's very similar to altitude training.
Yeah,
So we can do
that's what I was
altitude
thinking.
training in Richmond and not have to spend the money or go away from our family.
Go to
So-
Washington State to do it.
yeah, we don't have to go, out where
Wow.
a lot of people go to either Arizona or New Mexico and train. But we can do that right here. So
You learn something every day.
Give you some 96% humidity any
While we're
day.
complaining about the
character trait.
humidity, there is one good thing about it. Is what
Right.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect weather to train.
yes, I mean, fast races in the fall.
There you go.
Fingers crossed you have a cool race.
Well, we're supporting you. We can't.
Thank
wait.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well, one thing I want to take us through real quick is Sydney McLaughlin's her journey. I want to talk about her journey. So at 16, she became the youngest U.S. track and field athlete since 1972. At 19, she set the collegiate record in the 400-meter hurdles and then won the NCAA championship. At 21, she became the first woman to break the 52-second barrier. Then, after breaking her world record in Tokyo in 2020, she won gold twice. And she just ran a 50.68 at the World Championships, breaking her own record again. And I have to shout her out because she's my generation. I got to show some love to, my generation. My Gen Z, So I just think that's just super inspiring. And like Stephanie was talking about the sportsmanship, I know her speech afterwards, the first thing that she did was give glory to God,
Yes.
and then really acknowledge her family and then her team. And she is carrying herself with a lot of grace.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is you're the one that goes out there and runs that race, but you cannot perform at that level without a whole bunch of supporters around you. I mean, it's really, really, and to have the fans, and they really did an incredible job in Oregon to get that stadium prepared, and the people showed up. But let me tell you, the athletes really, really showed up. It was just, and there were several world records. She also won $100,000 for that world record. So there
Wow.
was special funding for the women that won world records to get paid $100,000.
Yeah, that's
Right up your
That's
right up
big
your
time.
alley, Dr. Danny. Talk about the money.
Yeah, it was really great.
I mean,
And to be a hurdler and a sprinter, I mean, back in the day, it'll take me some, right? So I was a sprinter. I did 150 meters and they threw me in hurdling. I'm like, have you watched them do hurdles? It is something.
Right.
The formation, and when they collapse and miss, it is something.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way you train to be able, it is a science system, the way they go through.
Yeah, and if you watch the race from overhead, her race was just beautiful.
Right.
Like
It's
it
a
was just
beautiful-
like the hurdle was just a white line on the track. I mean, she just went over that, and then to run. I mean, she was only like
It was mechanical. It was
0.07
so
seconds
beautiful.
slower than those who were running without the hurdles for the exact same 400-meter race.
Yeah.
Right.
You got something to add to that, Coach?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was going to say too, one thing, and this might be your generation, and I admire this.
Mhm.
She has come out and talked about her emotional struggles because of her success as well. And she's addressed that with the press and how hard that's been. But I like that. I think that more people need to hear that, yes, she's accomplished all these things, but she also had to go through a lot emotionally and psychologically to get there.
Well, there are, with racing, there's a
Good
lot of
point.
highs and lows, and there are so many different things that you can't control that happen, as well as the things that you can control. And so it is tough. And if you think about all that training that went in for those, 50
Right.
seconds, like those are months and months and months and years to get to just something that was less than a minute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty.
That's one of the
amazing to
things
see.
that Noah Lyles was saying about his travels, and I was going to say this earlier, coming from the Olympics and then getting into the recent races and racing against a youngster who's 19, who's yes less accomplished, but come on, it's a 19-year-old
Yes,
body,
yeah.
right? So even if Noah in his early 20s, there's easily a next generation of runner right behind
Yeah.
you. And track, it's so easy to transition from being the best thing to last in the race.
And the injuries are so prevalent with track and field.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was one, I can't remember his name, but he was expected to win and he was just warming up on the hurdles and he pulled his hamstring.
Yes.
And there went everything just in warming up. He didn't even get a chance to compete. And so that was just really heartbreaking to see that, just didn't get that chance to do it. So it is a tough sport, but the beauty of it was really on display and it was really fun to see.
like
And it
watching
was
a
fun to
symphony.
see, I think the USA team just came out. I think the largest numbers of medals that they've won in the world championships before. So they had over 33 medals. It was pretty awesome to see. Great team effort.
That's really exciting. That's really good. Well, ladies, we are about to head back into the locker room and get ourselves together and come back out for the second half of the game. But before we go, I've got to give another shout out to our sponsors and welcome our new sponsors, the Hilton Richmond Downtown, Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, Core Mortgage, Jerry Howard and Intrepid Impact Team, Synergy Technical, Capital Ale House, Fast Signs, NFL Freddie Berry, and Mike King Biz. You can find us on ESPN Richmond and The Choice and every day at Women Speaking Sports RVA. We'll be right back. All right, we're back from halftime. Women Speaking Sports RVA, and the team is rested, and we are here for the second half of Women Speaking Sports RVA. You're tuning in to the radio show here on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM or The Choice 105.3 FM. Fridays and Tuesdays, 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. We are with you throughout the day. You can catch us every day on Instagram and Facebook at Women Speaking Sports RVA. We've got our QB, we've got our running back, we've got our referee, our power forward, our designated hitter, and our coach. You may know them as Danielle Fitzhugh, Carrie Roth, Dr. Danny, Lisa Trani, and Steph B, and me, Star Matter. But before we get started and we really get into the show, we've got to thank our sponsors and welcome our new sponsors aboard the Women Speaking Sports RVA family. The Hilton Richmond Downtown, Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, Core Mortgage, Intrepid Impact with Jerry Howard, Synergy Technical, Capital Ale House, Fast Signs, NFL Freddie Berry, and Mike King Biz. Ladies were well rested. We had some Gatorade, we chit-chatted. We bandaged up some wounds, but it's time to get back on the field. But of course, we will not go forward before we enter into our VG segment. And right here, I'm throwing it over to Dr. Danny on the update for Miss BG.
So it's looking better, but she's still not home. Yesterday, we was back. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of them breathing her in. Yeah. And it takes something out of you. The soul just pause, where she's chained, by her arms and chained to someone. Yeah. And then they're walking her in, and then the lady takes the chains off of her arm, and she steps back, and they put her clothes in the cage, and then she has to put her arms out and they take the cage out. But one of the things that I think was encouraging. As if she's a violent. Exactly. The optics are really meant to syndicate. But she held up the pictures again of her wife and her teammates and others from the WNBA who are praying for her and looking for her. Absolutely. And so that and the whole thing that was shocking to me from the testimony of what was going on in court yesterday was that she talked about how they made her sign documents that she wasn't aware of. Initially, she was trying to use, Google Translator, shout out to Google, to understand what they were asking her to sign, but then they took her phone, and then she later had to sign additional documents. she talked about how she never intended to be in this situation. But one of the encouraging things that came out today is a statement was made that the Biden administration is supportive, and he's going against, our legal institutions, right? The Homeland Security and all of those are saying don't do this, but his administration is supporting an exchange. They want, I think his name is Victor Bout or something like that, an arms dealer that had been given 25 years to be in the U.S. presidency. Exactly. And the other thing is, I think it's an optics matter as well. But however they get home, get home. But we, the military guy that has been over there, he's already been in, I want to say, 3 or 4 years. And so it would be two of them for one of their arms. And so it hasn't been accepted, it's being out there, but at least the Biden administration has expressed support for this exchange.
Thank you for that. You mentioned how uncomfortable it looked when she's walking in and chains and everything. What was interesting was she said to the judge that she needed to sit because her neck hurt standing in that cage and having to. But she's a tall woman, and we're certainly not perfect in our system of restraints and things here, but seeing it's difficult to watch. It doesn't feel humane for someone who really didn't do anything that you would put them through this for.
It feels close.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like someone you know. It feels close.
Yeah. It is a disturbing thing to see it. I'm shocked that we haven't seen more of it, but they don't sensationalize things the same way that we do via the news here. But just seeing her, as you mentioned, like being let in, that's more than enough. It's pretty dramatic.
Defeated.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where when someone says, 99% of people are going to get convicted, and so you should plead guilty because it'll help you, but you're still going to get convicted. I don't know what you can do with that other than pray somebody.
That was some talk, and I haven't verified this, but I read it somewhere where one of the early statements she made was that she didn't know how it got in her bag.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all heard that.
She was stressed while she was packing, she was rushed, and but every time she said, to your point, Dr. Danny, every time she says, I don't know how it got in there, it almost makes me feel like she's low-key insinuating that someone put it in there. But she can't say that because then that would diminish her guilt.
DNA, if that's the case. That should be a part of it, but it's a capable court. I do hope that she hears that the administration is willing to have conversations to make that switch. That should breathe a little bit of life into that situation. I'm really hopeful because she is someone that, again, as we were talking earlier, Lisa, I saw her play in high school and AAU ball and all through Baylor and all, and so not just because she's a woman or in a sport that I love, but I also feel somewhat of a connection. And so it's almost like, my daughter. And I think I told you guys, I was over in Mexico earlier this year, and we ended up getting detained for several hours. And it was the scariest thing in the world on my mind that what could this be? And so, I'm praying for Whitney, but I am praying for all Americans that are wrongfully detained because there's, maybe 1,000 or so.
They were saying that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am happy that they're in the stage of actually making it a viable offer. Hopefully it'll get, resolved quickly.
But I think Russia put it on the table, whether it was truthful or rumored, they put it on the table that they wanted it. So we're gonna get you here. So
Take them, let's get over. Let's get it.
It sounds terrible, but it's like, did we know this guy was in there anyway? No. So go ahead and give him back. I know it's bigger than that. I don't want to diminish it, but it is almost like, all right, if we have to choose, and what and military and others is certainly significant. So I don't want to diminish that. But it is that human element is I don't care, get that guy off our soil, make sure he never comes back here, and let's get to work on getting her back home.
But I'm sure you understand this, right? It's not so much as who is what he did, because I agree with you, it's not trivial, but he wasn't on my radar. But it is, are we doing anything that might incentivize other women to take an American?
Well, I think
when it
that's
happens? So that's probably the biggest consideration.
And that's why they have not been in the business of exchanging.
Yeah, they say that. They do say that, you're right. Yeah, which is what happened when Trevor, when he was released, immediately was like, well, what about us? And it, I would not want to be, I don't care what the party is, I would not want to be a politician that had to be involved with this. But it is a difficult situation. They, we know the emotional side, as Danielle mentioned, but politics is not emotion, it is theater in a lot of ways. And so now we're watching political theater, and we're also watching human lives at the same time.
Playing to the emotion now?
Not for, I don't think so for Russia. I think with Russia, it's the theater of power and how it hits you. And the fact is, they can still come back and say, no, we don't want him, we want someone else, or we want two more, or there's something more, or we want you to stop sending arms to Ukraine. It could be a million things, and that is why I don't really fault, again, anyone on either party or any parties, because it is so much more complicated than just get home, and I think that's been a difficult thing for the past 5 months, is trying to walk with that tightrope of what's going to create the longer impact,
Well, thank you, Dr. Danny and ladies, for giving us the PG update. You can find out more information about PG at wearebg.org. And you can also click the link in our Instagram bio for more information there. If you want to see Brittany, come home. Absolutely. She will come home. Well, we've got an inspirational story. Mr. Hanson Emmanuel, that Lisa is going to kind of paint the picture for us.
Well, I read this the other day. It's so inspiring because this young man plays basketball, and he's 18 years old from the Dominican Republic, and he had his arm amputated from an accident when he was 16. Before he had his arm amputated, he loved basketball, played basketball in child and in baseball, and did not let that stop him. And as a result, I just think this is phenomenal. He is going to play at Northwestern University, have an NCAA scholarship. He's been visited by Kyrie Irving, James Sam, Shaq has been talking about it. So shout out to somebody that had a lot against him from the get-go. And the naysayers, he does the basketball.
He does. Yeah, and he came from the poorest barrio in Dominican Republic, and I mean, there's a lot to be said, not just so the injury, right? And then you're not in a place where you get the best health care when you're poor, right? And I mean, when you're poor, right? And then to be able to move past that and actually reach the top. And there's a lot of people just looking at him.
And I was pretty the first to predict that before he graduates college, they will have an apparatus for him to use his hands, because I believe he's going to do it before the
I believe so.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Just imagine what he is doing with one arm.
Yeah.
He has the robotic arm.
Right. This is a movie in the making.
Yes, a documentary.
There is an NFL player who plays Batman on his hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, they used to play Florida. It was this the inspirational thing of the twins.
Yeah.
And they, the brother that has those arms said he would not go to Seattle with that. So it was, and he plays. It's not like it's a sympathy thing.
Yeah.
It's called, I mean, NFL. So
I was just gonna say, so
You gotta do your job.
Yeah, there is feeling of sympathy draft.
No,
Absolutely not.
I would say I feel as if here recently within the past couple of months that the disability community has really been putting their footprint in in almost every field. I know we're talking about here in sports, but recently last week, which is a total shift in topic, but last week, three models walked in Miami swimming for the first time. They were disabled. One was missing a leg, I believe, an arm, and I forgot about the third. But then also Victoria's Secret has completely rebranded as well in their models, and they are bringing in inclusive.
So that's what I was gonna say, shout out to cultural inclusion.
Yes.
Diversity.
Yes.
Well, and what I love, and I don't always get it right, but what I love is some of the outreach, they're even rebranding and making it positive. Now the ability.
Right, yeah, love that.
It's just shifted the language, I think just elevates the
Absolutely.
community with so much more. There's not a negative connotation.
I think a lot of that comes from listening to the people who are impacted. That is a significant part, even in sports and everything else. So many times the people who are making the decisions are not directly impacted by the decisions they're making, other than financially, right? So they make decisions, they make rules, it can, I'm sure, feel very arbitrary to the people it impacts. You see it in day-to-day life. Some people make the rules and the other people have to live by them. I love that a lot of what's coming out of the communities that are being impacted, marginalized communities and everything, they're getting feedback to their voices being heard. I think that is where you see change that is impactful.
So
When people listen.
a friend of ours just rode across country on his bike over 4,000 miles from the west coast to the east coast and raising money for Sportable, which is a local nonprofit here in town. And
That's a great
and,
organization.
so, they're raising a lot of money and had some tough times along the way. There's just really kind of 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just like to add to as far as like I feel email.
Just thinking about that.
Everybody there.
Yes, I mean, this is going to be a movie. Right. You are going, there's certain things where well, I want to go see something like that. Because they said it, when a concrete wall fell on my head, and that was how it ended up losing 2 hours. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to be said for people who rise above. You use the word and it's like, oh, yeah, but really, someone riding 4,000 miles on a bike to support something that means something to them. It is the true definition of really putting your money in your mouth. Coming through. I love it. Great story. Very good.
Well, thank you for sharing. But step B, I think some of the ladies on the table might owe you a little bit of a. And Lisa might have a few words.
No, I'm talking about 10.
Yeah. Drinks on Carrie, Lisa.
It's not
Let's be real. The Subway series always creates it, right? It is energy, excitement. It's going to fill a ballpark. It's worth having from a standpoint of marketing point. Anyone else like you need to have that series. And I
Yeah, but this year, let's see the plan to bring these out.
really well.
Yeah.
That's the exciting thing. We get our pitching staff. I mean, I've been a Mets fan since I was a little boy. I myself at 3 years old during the jersey. And of course it's uncomfortable when you're from Brooklyn and you root for the Mets, but it is what it is. Everybody thinks they're following the Dodgers, they're the Yankees. I get it. But I've always loved the Mets. And, I remember meeting Mike Piazza for the first time and just feeling like, first of all, the magic moment, right? This man was amazing. And he was a handsome too. And also, and he was just that hip hop soul to the earth kind of guy. And I think that's what the Nets have always represented to me is, it's not always been about the big money. We have always gotten, that's it. It's Chase Dickens, it's a blue collar, and in that area, there are a lot of working class people all the time. You still don't need a lot of money to see a Mets game, and I love that. But I really, going back as far as thinking about their 1980s management, they don't pick characters, but people who are interested in being with the organization. And I think that's what I value about both of those New York teams. But that's exactly right. Show has a lot of passion. Tom Brady. We're all just gonna No, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I love watching something serious, and it's a rivalry that still it remains friendly. I want to beat you guys, but it's still a friendly. No, that's just because nobody in Philly is nice. That's right. The brother's city of brotherly love.
But I was thinking, we talked early on about how brother doing the business thing about staying healthy. And I mean,
That's where it always is.
Yeah. Our pitching, it was really sad to see one of our leading pitchers.
Oh my goodness, that was terrible.
Elbow.
Pitching.
Oh, yeah.
It's somebody said I was just somebody just said at the Hall of Fame induction. I don't remember who it was. It was like get my friend Tommy John. Like they were like it's Tommy John deserves a lot of honor and accolades. They were really advocating for him and everything. But when you look at Tommy John, when you look at him,
look at Justin Verlander, first
oh
and
my
13
gosh,
seasons.
yeah. But there's no guarantee that you come back from another certain rate and perform like that. Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I think of every single position across any sport, pitchers in this training. I really do. I think it was the most strenuous with in-game and prepping. And also if you took the when you're the quarterback, nobody really gets kind of easy opportunity to replace you. For pitching. And everyone who wants to be a pitcher, I think that's almost the thing mom and dad should say. Are you ready for the pressure? Oh my God. Yeah.
But I will tell you, we never advocate and we did not put on any regular. I remember going to those games where you had 8, 9, and 10-year-old pitchers, and the families are feeding them as a trophy.
To see that line, that was terrible.
In baseball, he did not start even playing baseball until he was a senior in high school.
I think we were talking about that. Yeah.
It's like,
That's a big deal.
and to think about it, it's not 100 years. It's well, that has to be you're not
We are
43 days away from kickoff with the NFL. Joe will be ready, but Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl.
Joe had to get he's getting emergency surgery.
Yes, he will be ready.
I
I will.
I don't know.
He will be ready,
Not ready.
and he'll be ready.
What about Crunk? Is
And
he
don't worry
coming
about
back?
me. Yeah, is Gronk coming back?
Will be back.
You think
He will?
he's coming back?
His girlfriend.
But I called it.
What?
You did, Dr. Danny. I will say that.
But he will be back. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't
he's
know
still a really young guy,
Yeah.
you know.
And plus they have Julius Jones.
It's very exciting.
They just signed a 1-year contract and he used to be a Cowboy. But anyway,
Lord.
it's somebody else that he can throw to.
Reminded us
Every
I'm
time.
just saying, we don't have him anymore. Now he's at Tampa Bay.
Well, one year I had Julio Jones on my fantasy team, and he really just wilded out. I mean, he went crazy.
Well, this is a
I don't
Put him
I
with
don't
Tom
know what you could do to mess up with Julio Jones. If you take him down to the Bucs and you're not using him efficiently, that's a you problem.
Just gave him a 1-year contract. So
But how many coaches don't use their players efficiently?
Yeah, but down there,
Mike Tomlin is a
why we
great
get
coach.
to scream at the
that's
Mike-
Plan B.
And that's why,
Me
that's
too.
why
Ride or die.
Dr. Danny is.
I'm
still
excited
trying
for
a
Derrick
coach.
Henry to really
Oh,
come
yeah,
back
yeah,
this
yeah,
year as well. You know, he got injured like mid-season last year.
And I know we're running close on time, but I don't think we touched on it. I wasn't here last week, but we did have 2 local high school seniors
Okay.
get drafted.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yes.
it's Hanover High
Yeah.
School. Both the players are Hanover High School, which has a phenomenal high school program. They have won the state championship for a number of years.
yeah.
Great
Hanover
coaching.
something else.
They had a player, Seth Keller, go in the 5th round, and they had a player go in the 16th round.
Okay.
So
Well, shout out to Hanover.
I believe they were going the 5th round player ODU, and the 16th round was going to Levi Huseman, was going to East Carolina.
All right.
So shout out, congratulations to both of those young boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what decisions they're making. I'm sure the 5th round we'll see him somewhere
We'll
out in the major league, but
We'll see.
I think the 16th round he's got some decisions to make.
All right. Well, shout out to our locals. Shout out to our locals.
Shout
And to
out
the parents
Coach
behind
Wooten
them.
is in the house.
Yes.
Coach Wooten, Road Runner.
Yes. Shout out Richmond Roadrunners.
All-star and, in her own right in the CIAA.
CIAA.
Union.
That's right.
All right. Well, good to have you in, Coach. It's really good to see you. It's really good to see you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week here at the Hilton Richmond downtown. Thank you again to our sponsors, the Hilton, Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, Core Mortgage, Intrepid Impact with Jerry Howard, Synergy Technical, Capital Ale House, Fast Signs, NFL Freddie Berry, and Mike King Biz. See you next week. Chesterfield.
And the Chesterfield Chamber.